Hello, Crafty Journaler. Welcome to the Crafty Journaler. My name is Sarah, and this is my channel where I do um, crafts for junk journaling. I also do other content related to junk journaling. And as of late, I've added a little segment at the end of my videos called A Little Food for Thought. And I think that I am now going to add another segment in my channel called Craft and Rant. That's just going to be me crafting and ranting about certain things that are taking over my kind of mind and stuff like that, and things that are just important for us to talk about, or at least I feel important to talk about. And yeah, so welcome back if you have been here before, and if you're not, if you're here because you're new and you just happen to stumble upon me, welcome. And yeah, let's go ahead and get started with this craft and rant. Well, last time I talked to you about what was going on in California. It is now Tuesday or Wednesday, depending on how you time. It's past midnight my time, and I again cannot make my mind slow down a little bit, so I decided to craft. As I was crafting, I decided, you know what, this would probably be a good craft and rant time. Basically, I'm just kind of going through like the whole thing, right? So on Saturday, I believe is when it started. The dictator-in-chief decided that he was going to up the ante pretty much with the whole deportation stuff, and he then decided that they're going to start waiting for people that are at Home Depot, going to fabric places and taking people, hardworking people, some of them who are here legal, mind you, and pick them up and start deportation. That's kidnap. From whatever angle, which way you want to see it, it's kidnap. These people are going about their day, then being taken and holden and disappeared, and they refuse to tell people around, like, who are you with, where are you from, where are you taking these people. Like, they don't want to give any information. That is just basic information that our government should be willing to give us, but they're not giving that information. So of course, as I'm sure was the plan, this made people angry, and so people decided, you know what, we're gonna go and peacefully protest. And so the peaceful protest started, and everything was under control. People were out there letting their government know, peacefully protesting, asking for the release of the people that they were just picking up and were allowed to be here. And then I guess it was probably not moving quick enough for the regime, so then they decided that, you know what, we're gonna exacerbate the situation by sending the National Guard. So then they send the National Guard, and then of course, they started to throw tear bombs at them and those canisters, and less than lethal bullets, and of course people decided, you know what, we're gonna defend ourselves, and people decided to defend ourselves. Now, this is where I will put a little bit of my 2 cents on that. I don't think that it's smart to let yourself become the narrative. By what I mean by that is, like, letting yourself not be in control of your emotions to the point that you are then gonna go and destroy property, fight against them physically or whatever. And mind you, it is a small amount of people that are doing this, but even those small amount of people that are doing this are being the narrative. So they become the group of wild people that are trying to overtake our country, these immigrants that are trying to forcefully take over our government, or the crazy leftist extremist that care more about defending immigrants than our own people, which is not even close to the truth. But that is the narrative that you are allowing yourself to become by not keeping your emotions in check. This is my opinions. All of this that I'm sharing with you is my opinion. It is smart for you to always double check whatever I'm saying, to inform yourself and make sure that you don't just believe whoever is telling you something just because somebody's online telling you their opinion. It that shouldn't be the end all of your critical thinking process. It should be one of the parts maybe, but it should never be like, oh, you know what, Sarah the crafty journaler said to do this, so I'm gonna do this. Or Bob from TikTok decided to inform me this, so I'm gonna go do that. Or Red Pill Man over there is telling me that I need to be angry because I'm a dude and I'm not allowed to be happy because society has whatever the F it is that they say over there. Because honestly, who has time for that? But anyways, you should always double check, right? So going back to my point, which is you should be smart of what you're doing. You should definitely not be destroying property. Optics are important when you're protesting. Know who you are with and check people if you see them getting out of hand, and do it in a way where it's not going to put you in a bad situation, because you need to remember that not everybody that's out there, and again, I'm going to say this like it's a small sect of people, but not everybody that's out there is out there with their full, what's the word that I'm looking for? They're not out there like pure of heart. They're not out there because they want to join the fight. They're out there because they're either trying to exacerbate you, because they're probably not in our side, so they're probably either trying to make you look bad by like saying like, oh, we need to do this or we need to destroy property. Don't fall for that, for one. Those are not your friends. And two, also there's just people that are dumb and they take advantage of sad situations to do bad shit. So and if you are one of those people, shame on you. Shame on you. Because this is a very sad and important time in our history that we need to make sure that we're on the right side of things. And the right side is protecting the Constitution. Because the Constitution has been so run over by this government, by this regime, that we don't even know which way is up and which way is down anymore. And that's honestly crazy to me. I mean, I never thought that in my 37 years I would have to be having this conversation. I am not someone that shares on a personal level online very much. Like, I don't really take a lot of selfies and share it with my family. I don't, or I'm friends. I'm pretty low key when it comes to social media on a personal level. So the fact that I even have to now feel the calling to be like, I need to share as much information on my social media, personal social medias, whether it's TikTok or I mean, I have all the social medias. I just don't use them enough. But now I am. The last 2-3 days, I've been sharing information as soon as I come across it. I always try to double check, triple check. There was a video actually out there that was being shared about a cop car that was like being burnt or whatever. And then it turns out that that specific video was from the George Floyd area. And now it turns out that there is one that is real, but just to keep that in mind, we need to double check the information that we're receiving. If you have a family member that is a red hatter, now is the time to gently start sending them certain information, and I do mean gently. The time is gonna come to where we're gonna have to pick up in numbers, and we're gonna have to be what we are meant to be, a big umbrella tent party. I myself consider myself more of an independent. I don't really consider myself a Democrat. I sure as hell am not a Republican. So it's hard for me to promote a party. But, and here's where, the reality of everything is that right now, in this in this day and time, there is a right party and a wrong party right now. And the lesser of two evils is the one that's going to be protecting the Constitution. And for me, the people that are protecting the Constitution are not in the White House. That is a regime. That is a dictator. With the things that they are doing, that's a dictatorship. The things that they are doing is fascist. And it is sad they are using the name of the Lord to do the things that they're doing. I grew up in a Christian household. My mom is a Mexican American woman who was saved, and then I was born into Christianity. So I grew up in a church. I learned Sunday schools. I went to summer Christian Bible schools. I, for the first part of my school career, went to a private Baptist school. And I am grateful for all those times, and I am grateful for the knowledge that I receive and the moral education that I received from um, that background. Do I actively go to church now? No, I don't, because I don't believe that organized religion is for me. I do believe that God is for me. And all the things that God taught me throughout my life, whether it be through the Bible or good people that I connected in my life, and godly fearing people in my life, whether it was through that, God has always taught me that love is very important. Loving thy neighbor is important. Having mercy is important. And all of those three things that are like majority of what I learned in church was is not even close to being in the White House. The man sitting in the White House is definitely the man sitting in the Oval Office at the White House is definitely one of those people that has pride in their heart to a level of sin. Like he's not willing to repent for anything that he did. He's not even willing to take ownership of anything that he did. This dude is a dictator, and that is my belief. But what isn't a belief, he is also a convict. He is a convict, 34 count convict. He was convicted by people like you and me, people that are his peers, but not really, because they're people like you and me. We're not 1%ers. We're not gonna be okay if this second depression actually comes, and it's not because of the LGBTQ community or the migrant community that we're gonna be in a bad situation. It's gonna be because the 1%ers want more money, more tax cuts for them, and they want to slash every single small good thing that our government has given us. And I'm like, it's what they've given us is not enough. We all know that. But I'm not here to talk about that. I'm here to talk about what's going on now. And it is important to know that God is not in there right now. God is nowhere near that man's heart. I find it blasphemic level crazy that he decided to make a Bible or print out a Bible called he called this Bible by his name and is selling it. And it is wild, 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 wild that people don't see that he is evil. God is not in his heart, and God is nowhere near that regime whatsoever. And there comes a time in your life where you're gonna have to ask yourself who you want to be. I think that time came for most of us, at least anybody that's over the age of 18. It's definitely the time to ask yourself who you want to be, what you want to align, and what you're gonna back. And it's time to ask yourself what the moral right thing to do is. And I think we all know what that is. We're just gonna all struggle a little bit to get there. And I mean, I hope it doesn't get too late for a lot of people that are like, I don't know. It seems like, we're just protecting the bad guys, and oh, they're rioting and stuff, because that is exactly the narrative that you're being fed. If you actively look for the information for yourself, you will see that that is not the case. And yes, am of the belief that there are some bad people out there trying to do bad things, but the good people are outweighing the bad people by far and wide. And that is not a lie, that is the truth. Now, we're going to talk about optics again. So, I think there are a couple of things that we need to keep in mind as we go and if you are going to be going to protest, there are some things that you should probably keep in mind. One of those things is, as much as we want to share our pride for our heritage, right now the time is not a good time to be carrying a flag that is not a US flag. And let me tell you why I believe that. Optics are very important. I watched one of the congressional meetings today with the military head guy. We're gonna call him X Fox News guy. So X Fox News guy on that on that interview that he's having with Congress, women and men, he is saying all these people are carrying another country's flag because they're trying to invade us or something along those lines. Don't quote me, look it up. But he said something along those lines. And then he turned around and said, like, we have to protect our country from these invaders or whatever. So the story is these people are not US citizens. So we're gonna militarize our military against them. And it's gonna be okay because they're not of us. And we are proud of our heritage, but we are of them too. We are US citizens. We were born into this country, and some of our families came from other countries, just like his past kin, and that's probably another story for another day. But we are all immigrants here, if we want to get down to it. The only real natives of this country are the Native Americans, which, I mean, I believe that Mexicans are Native American, but that's again another another day's rant. 2 days rant is optics are everything. Optics are important. What you see and how you perceive things is important. So if you're carrying the Mexican flag and going to protest, it is easy to twist that into an invasive person, especially if you are of my color skin. It's easy to turn a brown person as well as a black person into the bad guy like that. We all know that. We've all grown up with that knowledge that our kin usually are turned into the bad guy in a matter of seconds. So, carrying the American flag is probably the way to go this time. There could be other ways and other times to promote your heritage, but now for this protest and specifically for these protests that are coming up, it is probably important to portray the American flag. Another thing is we need to keep it PC. We need to keep it peaceful. Looters need to be called out quickly or under wraps in some way. I don't know how people organize, but me and my brother were talking earlier, and we were kind of talking like and spitballing about the fact that we kind of feel like that whoever is organizing these events of riots should probably put in place like leaders in certain sections, and as soon as they see something going on that is not optically good, that they should probably be like, hey, cut it out, or maybe they could have some sort of like security that's like, if you're doing bad, you gotta go. I don't know. I that's above my pay grade. I'm just a person on YouTube that doesn't even get paid, so um that's above my pay grade. But that's a smart idea if you ask me. I think that there needs to be some kind of like, if you don't see any type of leadership like trying to control or bring down emotions when it comes to like any kind of looting or rioting or maybe even people that are trying to turn on fires or kids that are throwing firecrackers. There has to be a way to control that. I don't know what way it is. If you have an idea, let people know down below or share it in your own venues. Just share as much safety protocols that you may know. Have a plan, guys. If you do decide to go out there, have a plan to remove yourself from a bad situation. Don't get yourself into a mob mentality. Um, Always actively think about what you're doing before you're doing. Um, don't become a January 6er, is I guess my point. Don't fall to that level. Dignity is important, guys. I mean, so maintain your dignity. If you see bad things happen, be sure to record it, and if you see peaceful, like the peaceful side of protest, um, take pictures of those, share those, share pictures of people peacefully protesting, because that is a really good optic to have, if you're out there protesting. And above all, stay safe. I'm sure there's a lot more that we can probably do. Right now, those are the things that are popping up in my head the most. So, and I wanted to share this video. I mean, I don't really go out a lot because of the situations that are going on. I am not a confrontational person. So even this is me stepping up my ante. I think that's something that we all need to do. If you weren't someone that would post about this stuff, maybe start posting about this stuff. If you don't feel that you can actively go and protest, do that. If you actively feel the energy and the calling to go protest, go do it, and do it peacefully and be safe. If you also feel like you have the patience to have a conversation with people from that side of the aisle within your family or community, friends, and you have the patience for them, and you still feel like you can have those conversations in a healthy and productive manner, do that, and inform yourselves more than anything, guys. It's time to put down our phones and let people online inform us, and we need to inform ourselves. That knowledge is so powerful to have, and I think that for the longest time we've been kind of neglecting that, because it's easy to just scroll and doom scroll on our phones and let other people tell us how to feel and how to think and all of these things, when in reality we can find all of that out on our own by going outside or talking to someone that we don't usually talk. Um, uh, I fight with staying at home a lot. That's like my battles right now, is not letting myself become fearful of the outside world because of what this dictator in chief is doing and this criminal is doing to our country. I love America, guys. I love that, all the things that it represented as a child, and I want that America for all of us. I want it for all of us. I want us all to have the freedom to pursue happiness, in whatever way form that is, as long as you're not hurting anybody. I want you to be happy. And I think that that's just human, you know. I don't understand why that's such a hard concept to come to, but it is a concept that we need to get to, because the longer we're taking, the worse it's gonna get. And giving up our rights just because some to co-opt our country, and just make it his personal piggy bank, or I mean, it's wild that he's grown his net worth by $3 billion. You could look it up. I'm not lying. This guy's wealth has grown by that much since he got into office. That should tell you everything. Also, there is a saying that my mom would say when I was much younger, and it says, "Dime con quién andas y te diré quién eres." Tell me who you are with, and I'll tell you who you are. The people he surrounds himself with are pretty bottom of the barrel, if you ask me. These people have zero compassion in their heart. They have made it to where people are thinking that it is okay because they are rich, because they are smart, for them to have zero compassion and zero humanity in their hearts. And that's kind of wild to me. But, anyways, I am not necessarily good at just sharing information like this, but I mean, I am upping my ante. I am doing things that are uncomfortable in the hopes that in the future, our future generations don't have to worry about this. Um, that's all we can do. We can hope, we could try, and that's what I'm gonna do. It's a little scary, but who the heck isn't scared right now, right? Like, we're all scared. We all have something to protect, and so I mean, let's try our best to protect our right. The first one and foremost to protect is freedom of speech, guys. So use your freedom of speech. Don't let that be taken away from you. Just don't. I don't even know how to eloquently tell you to not just give away your right. I would like for it to be more of a conversation. I've heard a lot of people talk about the like, in passing they'll be like, oh yeah, and then the ABC guy got fired. I'm wondering why we're not calling out ABC for firing that guy, that reporter, just because he said something about the bald man, um, the Yahtzee adjacent guy. Um, I'm wondering why is this why are they just giving up? Why are they just being like, oh, okay, you didn't like it, let me go ahead and fire this person, or suspend them? Like, I'm wondering why people are not talking about that like a little bit more. That's wild to me that these people are just like, oh, nobody's gonna care, we're just gonna capitulate, or we're just gonna like take it this one time and whatever. I mean, it's wild. It's just, I am in shock of how we got here. Like, kind of understand how we got here, because again, I've been actively looking at information and looking up information. I've been trying to inform myself a little bit so that I'm able to inform people around me, including, the couple of people that watch my videos and whatever. But I'm just like, how do we not let this become normal? Because I think that that's the fight right now, is being like, this isn't normal. This isn't normal. And when we do go out and protest, for the people that do go out and protest, I think it needs to be very clear what we're fighting for, which is the rights of our Constitution to be protected. The protection of our Constitution. That's what we're trying to protect. It's not even, they love saying that we're trying to protect the immigrants. No, we're trying to protect the rights of the immigrants that they have by having a judicial process of, like, the right way of doing things. Like, they have to go through court. You have to prove the fact that they are in fact criminals. Then if they are, then they get sent back to whatever country they came from. If they're not, they're allowed to stay with the intent of working hard and, pursuing happiness. I think they should be allowed to stay here as long as that is the ultimate goal of pursuing happiness. And also, the people that are bad, I am of the belief that if you're bad and you're here illegally, you should not be here. We have enough bad people of our own. But the fact is that the amount of bad people ran out in the first part of this whole situation, and they couldn't find any more, so they decided to start targeting good people. And that is where the problem is. That is unconstitutional. And so we have to protect our constitution. That is point blank, period. And with that being said, let's recap really quick. Optics are important, so when you find out what that is, make sure that we are safe. Instead of carrying the Mexican flag, I know that it is important for our culture, but we need to make sure to carry the American flag because we are also U.S. citizens and we have the right to peacefully protest our country. Be sure to maintain dignity. Do not engage in any type of rioting or looting. Do not fight against a federal government agent of any type, whether it's a police, ICE, or the military. Guys, the moment you do that, the moment you will lose because that optic is not helpful for the movement. Up your ante, guys. If you don't want to go out to protest, but you feel like you need to do something, inform yourself and start sharing online. It is important to do that for posterity, for history, and it is important to make sure that the right information is getting out there. So we all need to do our part in whatever which way that is. I don't know what my part is yet. I just know that I feel the need to do this. I feel the need to share information, and I feel the need to still keep my sanity and who I am as a person a little bit, so I will continue to do crafts and talk to you guys. If you guys are interested in this type of content, don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, do all that. Not so fun things, but it will help push the content out there. I don't even know what else to tell you guys, but I hope that you guys continue to be safe. Remember that your voice matters and you matter, and nobody has the right to silence you. Do not let yourself be silenced in fear, because that's what they want. And with that, guys, we'll see each other in the next one. I hope you guys have a great night. It's night over here. This is Tuesday night, Wednesday morning. This will probably be up on Wednesday. So, yeah, keep up the good fight, guys, and stay safe. That's a wrap. Okay, bye.